Foremost, I would like to start off by giving all praises, all the glory, all blessings to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaQuadash, or Racha Quadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect men, those who are sincerely pushing this word in all truth and in sincerity, risking their life on the daily in this struggle that we're in, to get, to, I wouldn't say, yeah, at this point, is not to wake up the elect, all right? But just to keep brothers, what's the word? The scriptures say that, this is a small sanctuary, it being in this truth, all right? And, just to keep brothers grounded, I'll say, all right? Because the elect, man, they have to be woke at this point, okay? Because, a wickedness doesn't, is not stopping. It's not coming to a head. And shalom to the women, those women, okay, who follow this truth. If you have children, okay, the children who follow the truth as well. If you're fortunate enough for your children to follow in this truth, shalom to you. And I'm going to pretty much, this is Lord willing, this can be a booster for brothers. I try to edify with all videos, give faith boosters. As we grind in righteousness, okay, because there's a grind that's in wickedness, okay, but we grind in righteousness. So we deal with a heavier burden, okay? People look at me and, they be like, man, you look older. You look older. Yeah, this truth, and this world, putting together things, in this world and, dealing with this truth, I guess it can aid you. All right. Because you'll be dealing with situations in the world, okay, up against things that you've never dealt with, all right, until you came into this truth and got the knowledge of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, all right. And so the name of this video is going to pretty much be, you don't want to be him on the plantation. Okay? You don't want to be him on the plantation, because, there's a movie out, I guess it's called Him. And a lot of our people, okay, a lot of our people are mistaken. Okay, they're still asleep. Okay, they're still fast asleep, and they don't realize that we are still on a plantation. We're still in captivity. Okay, we like to bring awareness to ourselves, to uplift ourselves through the power of the tongue, when we use names like, King and Prince, okay, calling ourselves the Israelites, okay. Hopefully you've refrained from titling yourself black, okay, or Negro, or classifying yourself as a Negro, or black or colored. Okay, so we have, come back into the truth, and we use uh, titles which are attributed to us, okay, which are attributed to us for upliftment, all right, uh, to be, reminded of our beginning, of our history, of our ancestry, all right, as being Hebrew Israelites, okay, and we have on the other foot 2/3 of our people who have followed after the ways of their oppressor. Okay, they have totally conformed to the image of the people who have enslaved them, murdered their family, kept them oppressed, even to this day. Uh, have held our people back, man, held our people down, man. Okay, and you have some people who are settlers, all right, and I keep saying that, man, and I can't stress that can't stress that more. Okay, you have people who are settlers, all right. They have settled for Babylon, pretty much. Okay, but the scriptures say that, roughly paraphrasing, I will call for fishers, and they will fish them. Okay, meaning fish for the elect. Fish for those who sigh and cry for the evil and abominations that you're seeing going on around you. You're crying and sighing for all the wickedness, all the evil, all the wickedness that you see going on around you. Some people just they're sighing and crying just so they can get their own little corner in hell. No, hey, hot and cold can't exist, okay, in the same realm, okay? So there's going to always be, and that's why the Most High says, look, I wish that you were hot or cold, okay? But since you are lukewarm, you're going to what? Spew you out, okay? And that's what it is when you settle, all right? Because the Lord said he's going to send for after the fishermen, then he's going to send for hunters. Okay? Hunters. So at the fishing season, you deal with that fish, and then now it's time to go and pack up some real hearty meat. Okay? Hunt. Okay? Not settle. Okay? That's not the mission that we are on as settlers. And so a lot of 2/3 of our people have settled for the wickedness of Babylon. Okay, this place is totally it's a burden. Okay, this place. Okay, this place is evil, continually evil. All right. You when you go to do good, and and it's and evil, just like, man, and our people, their whole culture is a evil culture. They and the scriptures tell us about that. So that's why the name of this video, okay, is you don't want to be, or something about, close to the title be, you don't want to be him on the plantation. So I'm going to play this little video clip, and I got some scriptures.
In 16, this is a 17-year-old kid who couldn't read. They charged him with Just to show you how bad it was after slavery ended, Jesse Washington in Waco, Texas, in 1916. This is a 17-year-old kid who couldn't read. They charged him with the rape and murder of a white lady on a plantation. He didn't do it. They know he didn't do it. A white guy.
So this was in 1916. You know, I had an uncle, my great uncle. He was born in 1900. All right, and you know we used to talk. He died in 1992, so he was 92 years old. Okay, and you know he really, didn't talk too much about things like slavery because I guess at that point he, was out of slavery. He didn't say too much about other things, but he was just at that point seeking peace. Okay, seeking peace, and probably was to the point to where he, you could see it in his eyes, man. This great wisdom in his eyes, man. Okay, strong, very strong to the day he died, man. Okay, um, you know, so even after the plantation, our people still weren't free. It's a big misconception that on the plantation, the slave master forced Jake to eat pork. That's not true. That is not true. Jake began eating pork, okay, while they were free. Okay, when they were escaping from the South, coming to the North, because Esau wasn't giving Jake shit on the plantation. Okay, nothing. He wasn't getting no leftover pieces of meat or pieces of. No, man. Jake was pretty much had a diet of what he found. Okay, what he found around, scavenged up around the plantation, and some of what the Northern Kingdom showed them what to eat. Like you have this weed that they don't pretty much. It grows everywhere. Okay, people don't know, but you have to. There's a process of washing it, because you have to wash the toxins out of it. But Jake came up with a way to cook it, and it's called poke weed or something like that, right? A hardy green. Okay, Jake had a diet based on greens. Okay, and then they had a lot of abomination. Okay, squirrels, turtles, crayfish. Okay, and that was like a plantation type of dinner. Okay, but when they became free and was leaving the plantation, they were trying to hurry up and get out. So what Esau, okay, this indigent, okay, this the indigent of mankind. Okay, Esau is the indigent of mankind. That might even be the title. Okay. He would sell Jake. Okay, these Jake who had got up some money to leave. He would sell them knowing that they were hungry. Okay, and he's been the same since Deuteronomy. All right, since we left Egypt, he's been the same. All right, leaving Egypt, they came out against us. Okay, so leaving again, when we were leaving from chattel slavery, coming to the North, they would charge Jake high prices for food. All right. And this is the ability that he still holds over you. That's why we're still on the plantation. He owns the meat distributing factories. He owns all of that. He makes it so that you can't even get in the game. You can't even have the resources. He's made that impossible for you to do. You could never be him. You see? All you could be is a damn bunny hopping coon. All right? Some type of coon, wicked ass nigga. All right? So they would sell Jake leaving the South. They would sell them the pigtail, all of the bad parts of the pig. And so that's how Jake came accustomed to eating pig feet, pig ears, hog head cheese, uh, intestines or chitterlings, okay? All of that shit, okay? Jake, through his ingenuity and his ability to cook, and he would use that to make, to cook dishes and, to survive in order to make it to the north. And even when they got to the north, it was the same way, okay? There was no love, there was no pity from Esau, and Esau began to come up with ways to keep Jake in poverty, in oppression, all right? So people who are today saying that, I'm him, and, you see these rappers and entertainers, and they're boasting like, like there's something, man. Hey, man, I'm going to go through some scriptures. I'm still going to get some scriptures, but, man, hey, those people are highly mistaken.
I did it. They framed him for it. Then he had an all-white jury. Mind you, he couldn't read. They had him sign a Miranda rights and sign a statement, and he couldn't read or write. So, other than his name, he couldn't write. Yeah. So, they have him sign it. He goes through a trial with an all-white jury. Juries were segregated at the time. So usually you either got an all-white or black jury. In this case, he gets an all-white jury. They find him guilty. A mob snatches him out of the courtroom. Right on the spot. They don't even wait for him to get sentenced to anything. They take him outside. They castrate him. They cut off his nose. They cut off his ears.
What?
They hang him over a bonfire. They burn him for over an hour.
Jeez.
He tries to crawl up. Every time he tries to crawl up the chain and get away from the fire, they cut off a finger. They cut up his body. They sell his body parts for souvenirs. They made postcards and sold those. That was in 1916.
Holy shit.
So this is after so-called slavery.
Okay, so that was after slavery, okay? That happened after slavery was over in 1916, okay? You had the rise of Al Capone here in Chicago in the 1920s, okay? So trying to be him, trying to be that dude right now, okay, is retarded, man. You're going to be an indigent just like Esau. All right, you're gonna be an indigent just like Esau. So, I'm gonna start off with this will be my first scripture. I know I've been talking. All right. So this is Romans 1:18. The book of Romans 1:18. Start there. It says, "For the wrath of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men." All right. Not just Israelite men. All right. Even these heathen. All right. Because the earth can't take it. All right. That wickedness. All right. And so our people, that's the custom of our people. Unrighteousness, wickedness, ungodliness. That's our people. That is what they have embraced. Okay. That's what they have embraced. It says, who hold the truth in unrighteousness. All right. It says, because that which may be known of God is manifest in them. Yeah, we see MJ jump out the court. Okay, jump out the damn gym. All right. We see Jake doing phenomenal things. All right. Patrick Mahomes is able to, make these death-defying passes and win the game. All right. With seconds left. All right. Even Jake that look like Edomites. All right. They have the ability to sing or to dance or, do other, do phenomenal things. All right. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is manifesting them. All right. It says, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai hath showed it unto them. All right. And so, a lot of these people even have, roots, in churches. They know, most of Jake has roots in the church. Okay. Some scriptures have hit them at some point in time. All right. And especially the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay. They know thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that. They know great stories. Okay. Who don't know about Solomon? Who don't know about King David? Okay. Samson. Okay. Yahweh Shai. Who don't know these stories, man? Verse 20 says, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen. Okay. They know about Moses. Okay. Most Jake, these great Jake, they know about Moses, man. Okay. A lot of these, new children, they're not creative. Okay. Some of these, they're not creative. They're not creating anything. All right. But those who have, been in the scriptures, know a little bit about the scriptures, those who were, probably born, not saying that people born after a certain period of time, they're less, but I'm just saying, people that were, from the, especially from the 60s, 70s, 80s, okay, early 90s, those were all people that were into the Christian church. So they've heard the stories, of our people in the scriptures. All right. It says, for the invisible things of him from creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made. Okay. Even his eternal power and Godhead. And that's why they always give thanks to God. Okay. A lot of these people. Okay. But guess what? They're wicked. I stood next to niggas to this day. And I swear to God. Okay. I swear to God. And be telling a motherfucking lie. Okay. Now, I've never, done it. Okay. I would be creative, but a lot of Jake is just so fucking wicked. Okay. And that's why they end up, full of holes, man. Or, the Edomite copped and broke their neck. Okay. Yeah, because hey, what does the scripture say? He says Esau is the Lord's whipping stick. All right. What these Edomites are, man, they're here to, the Lord has put Esau here to break your ass up. It says, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. So, we're out on the highways and byways telling you, we're doing videos, we're on podcasts, brothers is all on social media. This Jake don't got no excuse, man. It's no excuse. Verse 21 says, because that when they knew Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, they glorified him not as God. Okay? And when he walked the earth, they didn't glorify him as God. Right now, we go out and we tell and our examples of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and guess what? They look down on us. They talk shit about us. They're not really talking shit about us. They're talking about the Lord. We're talking points that the Lord has brought forth, and they are against them. You see, Esau, okay, the indigent of mankind, all right, he is against this, man, and he's looking for a way to get around, okay, showing his wickedness. But your skirt is lifted up, devil. No one's fooled anymore. Even your own women know that you ain't shit. The only woman that has faith in you is the nigga woman. All right? And her son. All right? Says because that when they knew Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, they glorified him not as a power, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Okay? And their foolish heart was darkened, right? And, trying to be smart, okay? Trying to be, smart. And that's what a lot of these people, they're overwhelmed by the power of righteousness. Okay? The power of righteousness is more stronger than the power of darkness. Okay? And so it's overwhelming. So when people try to come against that, what do? They become darkened. They become darkened. They got to get the fuck away from you, right? They got to go. That's why a lot of people would leave and be gone, man, because the power of light is stronger than the power of darkness. But what people would try to do is they'll try to dim that light. Okay? Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. All right? Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. All right? Let me get a video real quick.
When you niggas go on them boat ride, when you niggas gotta put them white shorts on with them white shirts, with them white socks and them white shoes, and you be in your all white, in my mind, I think them white boys fucking y'all. How the fuck y'all gonna be around all them kind of white men, nigga? Ain't no bitches around, a bunch of niggas on the boat with no bitches. How the fuck y'all gonna be around all and you be in your all white, in my mind, I think them white boys fucking y'all. How the fuck y'all gonna be around all them kind of white men, nigga? Ain't no bitches around, a bunch of niggas on the boat with no bitches. All white party. All white party, nigga, with them billionaire white boys like Robert Kraft. Them some freaky white boys, nigga. Jump for me, Meek. We got a bet, Meek. Come on, Meek, don't. And you be in your all white, in my mind, I think them white boys fucking y'all.
Now it don't want to play, man.